the Big O Show.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge, Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Welcome aboard. Good morning. Hope you all are doing well. I mean, it's a Friday. The Panthers put on an absolute clinic, show, lesson,
in a dominating fashion last night, 5-0. Even the one goal they did score was on an offside play, which, the camera work nowadays really helps out because prior HD, we don't get that replay, and it's not a shutout, and it's 5-1. You know what I'm saying? So, they'll get the Moody's dental clean sheet today. That's for damn sure. But it was awesome last night, man. That was a lot of fun last night, watching the Panthers put on a show and dominate and just be physical and wear them down. What we saw at the end of the Toronto series is what we witnessed last night. Yes, sir.
I don't want to rain on the happiness, but you have frozen.
Already? Damn it. All right, play a spot for 30 seconds.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There we go. I'm back. All right. There we go. Although I think I messed with the camera a little bit there, unfortunately, because I'm kind of low on the picture. But anyway, we'll do what we do and get by. It's not about my face, anyways. Really, my face is not for radio, it's for radio, not for TV purposes. So we will move on. Last night was just absolutely awesome, man. It was assuring. It was convincing. It was just any and every adjective you can come up with. And you just feel really good right now about the team and where they stand and, getting to the finals. It's funny. You can come back to Amerant Bank. You only have to win one of two. Really? Now, we all know that the Panthers are probably going to come back tomorrow night, and they're going to play their game. And this is, I'd like for them to, yesterday Rhino got injured, so I'd like for them to finish these guys off here on Monday. It would be really nice. So if they win Saturday, I think Carolina has to kill themselves to try to win Saturday. And if they cannot win Saturday, they know it's over. They kind of felt it was over yesterday. But officially, it'll be Saturday night. So if the Panthers take care of business on Saturday night and take a 3-0 lead, I think they'll be so demoralized. And there is no confidence at that point. Plus, that's their history. So really, the mental breakthrough and breakdown will come on Saturday. If the Panthers put them away on Saturday, we got a good shot of sweeping, and then you can sit back and hope that this Stars Edmonton series, they kill themselves for 7 games and a couple of overtimes. Because I'd rather have the Panthers resting a little bit this time around for the Stanley Cup. you know. And if they're a little flat in the first game, like they were in the Toronto series, so be it. They can recover. They're the best team in the NHL. Is there really any doubt? It's the announcers are trying to constantly create a matchup for the other team, but deep down inside, they all know the Panthers are better. They are just deeper, they're experienced, they're mature, and they are physical and skilled. And when you are physical and skilled, it's really tough. It's really tough. A few years back when they had all the best points in the league and all that bullshit, they were skilled. They weren't physical. And those are the things that have changed over the years. And that's why when you have that combination, Jesus Christ, man. Bill Zito, I mean, every defenseman has scored. The firepower that Florida has, it's just impossible to match right now. Nobody has that. Nobody plays the relentless physical style. And on top of all of that, have the skill set too to just hammer you for 3 periods. Nobody does that. And this is why we're watching what we're watching right now. Absolute and total domination by the Florida Panthers. I mean, it is impressive. By the way, you see Subaru of Pembroke Pines there. There's a QR code. Whether you go there in person or you also can use the QR code, you can get $500 off your next Subaru purchase at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And they've got a Memorial Day sales event going on this weekend. It honors those who protect, serve, and care for our communities. So, eligible U.S. military, active and retired, first responders, you'll all receive an additional $500 off the discount on the MSRP. Plus, if you mention my name, you'll get another $500. That's $1,000. So take advantage. Go to Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Get an incredibly reliable vehicle. 754-799-4129. You can call them 754-799-4129. Go see Alan and all the great people there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Eric Stampone, you see him with me every month. There at Subaru. You can go see Eric, say hi to him. His dad, I know Tony. I've known Tony for 15 years now. I go to concerts with Tony. So, and his son Eric does an excellent job. So check it out there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. Man, we got David Furones joining us today. We'll talk a little Dolphins. Did the Dolphins get scared? Just wondering. Have the Dolphins already been shocked by what happened? And you're all wondering, what happened? What are you talking about? What do you mean? How can they get scared? There's no regular season going on right now. We didn't have any kind of practice with a team. What happened? Why'd they get scared? Just wondering. Did you see it, Sean? Did you see them get scared? No. Shocked. Scared. One mini camp with Quinn Ewers, and they've already got Brett Gabbert in. One mini camp with Zach Wilson. They've already brought in a fourth quarterback. Not a training camp. Not a practice. Not a preseason, but a mini camp. So they cut William Bradley King. for a second time. And they added Brett Gabbert. It's just interesting. I don't know. You know, we are talking about the coach that had Skylar Thompson run for 3 years and had no fucking idea that he couldn't play. You know, we're talking about that moron. You know, the guy that's the head coach of our football team. You know, that guy that's freaking clueless as hell, that has no idea, couldn't find his asshole with a funnel. Yeah, that guy. So I'm just wondering, they already brought Brett Gabbert on there, you know, because he's such a quarterback guru. Yeah, and, you know, he did wonders with Tua. I love when people say that about Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel didn't do shit with Tua, dude. Mike McDaniel, the only thing is he showed confidence, but Tua was going to get through it anyways. He's a tough son of a bitch. He played under a head coach that hated him. You think he wasn't going to get by with soft-ass Mike McDaniel? Weak-ass Mike McDaniel? Come on, dude. Give me a break. I love when people actually try to make it sound. Bro, he hurts Tua. He actually stops Tua from being better. So when I see that you already signed Brett Gabbert, a guy that blew out his leg already, you know, he already had an injury, it kind of disintegrated bones, and he's back now. And I told you guys, Quinn Ewers is not a, you know, because some of you idiots out there, because your hate for Tua, again, exposes your stupidity. And you think Quinn Ewers is going to take Tua's job, just like Teddy Bridgewater, just like Huntley, just like Skylar Thompson, just like all these idiots. None of them. None of them. By the way, any of you out there still with the Teddy Bridgewater stuff, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. Okay? You should be embarrassed. Anyway, you couldn't hold Tua's jock. So I told you that Quinn Ewers, if anything, he has a chance to compete with Zach Wilson. I'm just wondering, kind of early already to bring in a quarterback. I'm saying, did they not decipher plays? Did they not make the right throws? Were they not convincing in the classroom? Were they not convincing while they've been around you? Because, you know, the coaches will tell you, oh, Tyreek's been phenomenal. Yeah, he looks like a guy that really wants to make an impact and help his teammates and all. You heard some of that bullshit from some of the assistant coaches. What else are they going to say? I'm just saying, I saw the Brett Gabbert thing, and I'm like, whoa, that's a little early already. Kind of tells me that the situation with those backup quarterbacks wasn't looking as good. So let's bring in another sorry arm behind Tua. Because we got a sorry one in Zach, we got a sorry one in Quinn Ewers, and now we got a sorry one in Brett Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert's brother. Seriously, dude. The fact that this guy runs the offense and he's the one that has to be in charge of a position that he hurts the quarterback. It's asinine. Seriously. You have a coach that's a detriment to the quarterback. Wow. So, I get it's a horror show Friday for you, because it looks to me like they got scared quickly. All right. You can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we always appreciate that. Thank you all out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we got ourselves a little Bitcoin dip too. Okay. You can always tell the lettuce hands. By the way, we're at 109.8, right? And we got to 111.922. I think that's the highest I saw. We didn't get to 112. And let me explain something to you, which is really like, it's like so obvious because I follow this so heavily. And you look at it, we're at 109.7 right now. Okay. 108.7 was the peak. And we couldn't bust through it. We went back down, remember? And then we came back up slowly, methodically, and we busted through 108.7. We're 109 now. We fell to 109. We fell to the resistance. And so now the resistance has become the support. So now you fall to the 109 and it holds, because what happens is we went to close to 112, right? And then a bunch of Mickey Mouse people bought Bitcoin. And then Trump says something stupid, like he always says every day. He'll say 2 or 3 things that are stupid. And he throws out the EU 50% and the Apple 25%. I want all phones built here. And any of us that know anything about this, which most of you don't, it takes years to build this stuff. It takes years, way longer than his tenure, to move all. You won't be able to move it anyways, but all the different things you need to build an iPhone, they're built from different parts all over the world. So, if you want them built here, we're going to be paying $2,000, $3,000 an iPhone. And then you've got Howard Lutnick, who's just an ass kisser because everybody around him has to kiss his ass, or if not, they get fired and get thrown away. So he's like, well, no, we got to get them all here. We'll get robots. Okay, but that's going to take years. That's not going to happen next week or next month or a year or 2 years from now. So, but people then panic because in the end, Trump won't be able to keep those tariffs. But people are stupid. And Trump scares the crap out of people, and the people that are stupid, they sell and they dump, which then becomes an opportunity for the smart people to come in. Okay? You cannot listen to these people. He cannot keep tariffs up at that price because he will be out of office. All the Republicans will lose their seats. This new budget, when it passes, it's going to leave a lot of people out of health insurance. They're going to lose a lot of votes in the midterms. Probably are going to lose it, and they're probably going to give the Senate back to the Dems, and maybe even the House if it gets even really crazy. So he really can't keep up any of these tariffs, but most people don't understand that. He really can't do that to the European Union at 50% or whatever, and then we're because we're going to pay it. Okay? In the end, we're all going to pay it. Where he tells everybody, oh, you got to eat the tariffs. They're not going to eat the tariffs. They're going to pass it on to us. It's what they do. But it's irresponsible for him to say it because it scares people, and then they start panicking with their own money, like happens now, and they're selling off the stocks and all that shit. Where's the stock market today? How bad is it right now? Let me see. 327 points. S&P's down 52. So it's not good. It's just not good. You scare people, and then they got to, and in the end, you're not really going to keep the tariffs. He's probably going to keep the 10% across the board for everybody. That's how I feel. But I don't panic every time he says something because it scares a lot. And it's really irresponsible. It's really irresponsible because most people really don't follow. They don't know anything. Like that guy that reached out to me yesterday on, hey, what do you know something on the short term? Because everybody wants a quick buck. Everybody wants to get rich quickly. Nobody wants to wait. Nobody wants to, take the time and all that and study and all that. Everybody wants a quick fix. And the quick fix is just rarely ever come for any of us. So my suggestion to all of you out there, don't listen to Elizabeth Warren. Don't listen to Trump. Don't listen to any of these idiots. Okay? When it comes to Bitcoin, don't listen to any of them. All the bad shit that they do ends up empowering Bitcoin, not weakening it. empowering. Okay? Inflation, tariffs, printing money, all this stuff, all it does is it ends up empowering Bitcoin even more than a great economy. A great economy will empower Bitcoin. A bad economy will just make Bitcoin, forget about it. It's over. There's nothing that compares to it. And so, I'm just trying to walk you all through this. I'm not a financial advisor, but when it comes to Bitcoin for the last 6 years, I don't know, what's my batting percentage? 1,000? 1,000, right? Last 6 years. I'm not a financial advisor, but anything and everything I've told you so far about Bitcoin in the last 6 years, 100%. None of it has been wrong. Not one bit. So don't listen to Dems, don't listen to Republicans, whoever's in office, they're all screw-ups. They're all going to screw it all up. Okay? Go listen to Rand Paul. Republican, conservative, a true fiscal conservative. And he's the one trashing the new budget, $4 to $5 trillion. But politics has turned into sports, where a bunch of you idiots are fans. You're fans of politicians. What kind of morons are you? No politician's worth anything, dude. They're all garbage. And that's what we have here. I have a friend of mine, okay? Kind of anymore, I don't know. But, because I made fun of him. Because he's one of these guys that he actually treats it like he's Cuban. So because he's automatically Cuban, he automatically has to be Republican. And then that's our team. And I'm like, yo, bro, I don't have a team, dude. This is not, that's not how it goes, bro. I don't care about Dems or Republicans. I'm objective. And they're both garbage. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's anti-Cuban, he goes to me. And I go, no, bro, you're a freaking moron. You're a moron if you're treating politics like a sports team. Oh, you're on the wrong team. Bro, I'm not on a team. I'm an American. I'm about the red, white, and blue. Not the red or the blue. I'm red, white, and blue. It's a problem. Don't listen to any of these people. They all have agendas, and it's their own agendas. They're not looking out for your own good at all. Okay? At all. It doesn't matter. So just, I see the dip, and it happens every single time. And then every single time, what happens? There's a rebound. And why? Because now you're going to give the rich people, because the people that are selling are retail. It's not Saylor selling. It's not Jack Mahler selling. It's not me selling. It's not Lisa selling. I can tell you that. I know Lisa personally. Okay? I can guarantee you. Is Ray there? Are you watching? I know Ray ain't selling. Okay? Ocala Joe, I know him personally. I know him and Lourdes aren't selling a damn thing. So, Razzle Dazzle Crypto, I bet you he ain't selling. Don't know him personal, but I know people like him, the way he chimes in for a few years here, he's hardcore. Don't listen to them at all. Nothing they say makes any sense. Okay? Nothing. For 4 years, you had a group of people that all they did was try to stop and do everything illegal to stop Bitcoin. And now you've got another guy in place while they're pro-crypto, but they're doing everything else to kill the economy. Okay? Because we're going to raise the debt ceiling $4 to $5 trillion. We don't stop the printing, dude. So we're going to be at like 50-something trillion in a couple of years. because that's what we're on pace for in 10 years from now. Our kids are going to be so screwed. So don't listen to any of them. Okay? Did you get your $5,000? Did you get your $5,000 Doge check? No? Yeah. I thought we were getting the $5,000 check. What happened to that? Oh, wait a minute. The war in Gaza stopped, right? Because it was going to be stopped, right, when he took over. Wait, well, did the war in Russia stop and with Ukraine? No. I thought all of that was going to stop right away. It's interesting how all these promises are empty. The ones that matter. Don't listen to them. None of them are going to tell. Elizabeth Warren. Oh, crypto's all for money laundering and stealing. No, it's not, you dumbass hoe. It's a wide open blockchain that you can see every transaction. Why would a thief want to do that? But keep listening to politicians. None of them care about us. So don't fall for this stuff. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. That's what Dems and Republicans constantly do to you. So they just take turns taking office and screwing us over. That's all. All right. Corso. Did someone say tariff? No tariffs on Bitcoin. Anyway. Oscar, you are correct. Let's give a victory cigar to the one and only Florida Panthers. Nice job. Nice job by the Florida Panthers. It was a hell of a game last night, and that was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, folks. See some of the same folks out there. Thank you all. You people are amazing every day. The Brian Radkes, the Oscar Rojas, the Gus Gus's 1388, the Ty in the Bronx, Steven Gonzalez, loving his Panthers, Nikolai, Cosa Nostra, Big Johnson. So since my Lightning are out, I'm rooting for the Panthers. Thank you, Big Johnson. That's very nice of you, dude. Because normally that's tough to root for the other team in the state. But I would do the same thing, by the way. If the Panthers were out, I would root for Tampa Bay because it's still a Florida team. I do that for practically everything except the Gators. Sorry. Let's see. Lenny says, I've been in Miami for a couple of days, but I'm back listening to the best South Florida sports talk show we have today. Thank you, Lenny. That's very kind of you. Very nice. Horn Dog is in. Ocala Joe taking the dip. Skylar Tipton, Alexis Palenzuela. Damn. Oscar C. I feel like the Canes team's a joke. Very finesse. They're the Canes team. They're not a joke. Dude, it's just that your team is really freaking good. Really good. And the Canes don't have the combination of the physicality and the skill to match. They can get gritty. They can get nasty. And that's what the Panthers are. The Panthers are nasty. They are the True Live crew. They're as nasty as they want to be. That's it. We have the True Live crew. So that's what it is. It's they're a really good team. It's just the Panthers are a great team. They really are. And hopefully they will complete it by winning, because you start becoming great when you win a back-to-back or 2 out of 3 or whatever. Then you can start, becoming, this is one of the great teams of this era here. And that's what you need to do. And I think they will when it's all said and done. I think they will. NorCal, happy Memorial Day to you, sir. And he goes, remember the fallen heroes that serve our great nation. Monday, I'll attempt the Murph with modified pull-ups. Anyone else doing the Murph this weekend? Fins for life. I don't know if a lot of people will be doing the Murph because you are a maniac. Corso says, I got a brand new 747 to sell you. There you go. Speaking of whoppers. Anthony Kyle Campos, another super chat. Thank you, sir. Oh, tickets bought, flights ready to go at Indy. Me and my group starting high hopes, not falling off a ledge yet. Yeah, I don't have much high hopes, but we'll watch. We'll root for the best. I'm just expecting the worst when it comes to the Miami Dolphins this year. All right, let's take a break. Let's get ready because he's ready to go. The one and only David Furones with our Welt and Realm Miami Dolphins report. And remember, if you're looking for lawyers that are going to fight for you like two tackles in the NFL, getting it done, that's Jeff Welt and Daniel Realm. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, 954-966-4646. The consultation's free. And David Furones is next with our Welt and Realm Miami Dolphins report.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Realm. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Realm can help.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Realm Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Realm has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you doing, brother? You doing good?
I'm doing good. Another off-season weekend to come, and OTAs soon for the Dolphins and mini camp. So we're at that part of the off-season.
Yeah, we are. And so Cam reported that no deal is imminent with Jalen Ramsey, which, I'm confused. So no deal is imminent, but Schefter threw out that there has been more interest than people think. So was one guy actually just doing a favor for an agent, and then the other guy in Cam, is he just reporting what's actually going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably two sides to it. It's that nothing is set like imminent, as in going to happen right away. I think right now it's becoming clear that the Dolphins will just wait to the post June 1 mark so that they actually save money toward the cap instead of lose money. I mean, I always thought
I get that part. But who's full of shit?
Who's what?
Who's full of shit?
Sorry, say again.
Who's full of caca?
Who's full?
Mierda.
I mean, I feel like both things can be true. It's not like, okay.
This is what I love about being me. Adam Schefter is full of shit. This is what I love about being me.
I think he's saying interest
about any franchise or any player or any agent or any writer or any podcaster or anything or anybody. I'll call anybody out. And Adam Schefter does a lot of this bullshit. So what he was doing is doing a favor for Jalen Ramsey and his group, whatever. Okay. And then here we go. But Cam's like, nothing imminent, because there's nothing imminent. It's a difficult deal for the Dolphins to make, because the Dolphins are going to lose no matter how they make this deal. They're taking cap space away. They're losing their best player in their secondary. They're losing the only proven corner that they have. There is not a winning edge for the Miami Dolphins here, because Jalen Ramsey has put them behind the 8 ball. So that's why I think Cam is actually being more honest about what's going on. And I think Adam Schefter's full of shit on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely nothing is imminent. I think we've seen that much because there would be some serious momentum. I mean, I know we've heard about the Rams, and that would seem like a fit, but it's not, like you said, it's not something that's imminent. We're not at the doorstep of a trade being completed. And I think for the Dolphins, it does make the most sense to just wait either way. And sure, I could see a possibility where, yeah, it's not like there's interest. I could see interest as far as, yes, teams are inquiring because they want to see if they can get a steal, if Jalen Ramsey is on a giveaway type of trade seeking situation, then yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure teams are making calls and there's interest, but not to the interest level of, okay, yeah, I'm serious. I'm going to get into a bidding war for him at that contract. I don't think teams are really lining up to do that right now. And for the Dolphins, it's in their best interest to just give it another week or so, and you actually save money, the 9.9 million instead of the 8.55 that goes against the salary cap if you just do it before, which I always felt was the logical thing, was just wait till post June 1, especially once you didn't get it done for this year's draft. So you didn't help yourself as far as picks that help you in the 2025 season with the Jalen Ramsey trade. That time came and went. Okay, just give it another month plus from the draft and get it done post June 1.
Right. Just out of curiosity, I know there probably won't happen, but Jalen's being a dick. Why don't you become the bigger dicks? You're not really going to get anything in return that's worthy of anything. They're going to give you a super late third day pick, right? Or they're going to make you take a whole bunch of millions, even more as a hit, in order to get a fourth rounder or something, which you don't want to do that either. So why not say, dude, either you play for us or have a seat. And have a seat, sit out the year, ruin a year for yourself. Your body gets a year older. You'll be out of football for a year. Who knows if you'll come back the same. This way, we don't take our cap hit at all. And we don't have to, we gave you the money you wanted. Now you want to back away. And I get it. Look, dude, I've talked to many people in the building. Mike McDaniel's a disaster. And there's so many in there that know it. And they know they're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle with the guy at the helm. So I know enough people in that building that there's no confidence in what's going on, no matter what they spew out in public. Okay, there is not a damn bit of confidence in that building. So I'm just wondering, why not be the complete dick and say either you play or sit out, bro? But we're not going to take a cap hit just to accommodate you and make us, less competitive.
I would love for the Dolphins to take a hard stand like that. And I think we've seen it very often, like the Minkah Fitzpatrick situation, just appeasing someone, and it doesn't really help the organization. So now you got to play kind of both sides of the fence and stay balanced, because Jalen Ramsey, represented by one of the top agents in the NFL, David Mulugheta. You want a good relationship with that agent, because he represents a lot of good players and guys that you have had in your building, also guys that you've let go. Christian Wilkins.
Is that why Schefter did him a little favor? Huh? Is that why Schefter did a little favor from Mulugheta there? Is that what's going on? Because he doesn't care if it doesn't look good or not. Nobody's going to remember that. Nobody's going to hold Schefter. Schefter breaks 4,000 stories a week. So if he throws out a little smoke screen, smoke and mirrors bullshit, nobody's going to look at it. You know what I mean? I'll look at it because I'm cynical and I see through all the bullshit that goes on.
And you report it safe enough where, nothing happens. And then, I was just reporting that there was interest. It wasn't that because he's also not saying anything is imminent either. It's not like the two sides are like drastically contradicting each other. So
right.
That's why I'm saying, both could kind of be true.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe that. I'm going to go with Cam, and I'm going to say,
But I'm saying they don't like.
I love Omar to death, and Omar could call me and ask me to help him move, do him a favor, lend him money, whatever. I'll do it, and a drop of a dime. He just threw out a tweet over the weekend. They should bring back Xavier Howard. I mean, that's some crazy ass bullshit right there. You know what I'm saying? That's just some stir the bullshit. That's my friend that I'm putting up for, and I'll call him out for that shit. You know, who in their right minds would bring Xavier Howard back? Give me a break. He was even a shell of what he was when he was here at the end. Give me a break. You could easily take over Xavier Howard at the end of here. Why would you bring him back? So, you know, we call it out no matter who it is, if it's something crazy, and that is absolutely ridiculous. Now,
that's Omar looking out for his boy. Yeah, I know.
Now let me give you something that could be ridiculous, or because of the track history, it could be real. So we just went through a mini camp. I'm just wondering, they go and cut the linebacker, William Bradley King, and they bring in Brett Gabbert. Were they not necessarily impressed with what they've seen so far from Quinn Ewers or even Zach Wilson? I'm just wondering, because it's kind of strange that you would already bring in a fourth quarterback when you haven't even had real practices yet.
Big O, I addressed this with a tweet yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. It was Dolphins fans jumping to conclusions, and it was these guys parachuting off skyscraping buildings. I think that's a big conclusion you're jumping to based off the signing of a fourth quarterback, which is kind of like a common practice in the NFL. The Dolphins have done it the last couple of years with the Gavin Hardison kid that they had, and then he threw a bunch of interceptions in an OTA, and then they let him go. But like James Blackman was a fourth quarterback. They bring in extra arms. So like when Tua was holding out, they had the other three guys going with
no, but that's a Tua holdout. And
but you don't have to give him that many practice reps. You keep his arm fresh. You don't put him through all that. Get the other guys reps. So
I'd give you the benefit of the doubt on all of that if we were talking about a competent coach. We're not talking about a competent coach. We're talking about a guy that is completely lost. He had Skylar Thompson around him for 3 years and had no fucking idea that he could play. And when he brought in Tyler Huntley to finally start, he kept Tua's offense in there instead of catering it to Huntley. Okay? This guy doesn't help Tua. He gets the plays in late. He doesn't stick to the run. He took him forever to implement a goddamn tight end. He won't implement a big receiver in the offense that helps a short quarterback standing behind tall men. Now, there's a lot of stupid things that Mike McDaniel has done. And the one thing that he isn't is a quarterback guru. Okay? He never developed Tua. Tua did everything on his own, has done everything on his own. The only thing that Mike McDaniel ever did was show confidence in Tua. That's it. But Tua excelled with a head coach that literally hated him. Literally hated him, and he still won more than he lost, threw more touchdowns than interceptions, and had no offense, no offensive line, no weapons, nothing, and he still did better than worse. So to me, Mike McDaniel hasn't done jack shit with a quarterback. So I don't trust him with Quinn Ewers. I don't trust him with Zach Wilson, and I think he's a detriment to Tua. So when you bring in Brett Gabbert and you have the terrible history that you have with us at quarterback, I have to question it, my brother. I have to question it because Mike McDaniel has zero credibility.
I can't back you on that one, Big O.
I know you're on the beat.
Because the bar that you're setting for how Tua was successful for the first 2 years of throwing more touchdowns than interceptions, that is a very low bar. You should at least double your touchdowns to interceptions, even when you're just starting off.
How can you do that with no offensive line, no running game, and no receivers?
He didn't have a good receiving room. He had Jalen Waddle as a rookie.
That's it.
Like Matt Collins was a top. Mike Gesicki he did have, and Mike Gesicki was part of the offense back then. Devontae Parker could go up and get a ball and help him if he just lobbed it up to him. But still, I will give you that. The receiving room was nothing to write home about. Yeah,
Jesse
neither
Davis.
was the line.
Jesse Davis was on that line. An Eichenberg that is terrible now and was terrible then. An Austin Jackson that wasn't even coachable at that point because you didn't have the coaches to actually coach him, because now they actually have offensive line coaches. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was going to win 2-1 with that talent and that coach, dude. You had a head coach that could not have how many quarterback coaches, how many offensive line coaches, how many offensive coordinators during his tenure?
Oh, every year it changed.
Come on, dude. You do not. Tua was exceptional considering the chaos and the hate him. Okay, considering you had no
considering the cards against him.
Minds running the show. Okay, none whatsoever. No offensive minds. Tua was exceptional. Okay.
Yeah, he was fine.
Waddle with a broken finger and broken.
He took a year 3 leap. It was a leap in year 3 when Mike McDaniel first took over. He was never going to lead the league in anything under the previous systems with Brian Flores and the changing of offensive coordinators, changing of play callers all the time. And then we've seen him lead the league in passer rating and yards per attempt, in total passing yards, in completion percentage, all in different seasons since Mike McDaniel took over. So I think it does go. Yes, the confidence was a big part
he
of
won
it.
a national championship at Alabama coming off the bench. The guy that won the Super Bowl, the guy that won the Super Bowl was forced to transfer because of Tua. The problem here is that you don't build the team around him the right way, and you don't give him the weapons to succeed. He's never been the problem. It's always the people around him, whether it's Flores or now McDaniel, dude. McDaniel's a disaster, an absolute disaster. It's that the front office has given him a boatload of talent, and he has underachieved over and over and over and over again.
I will give you the overall underachievement with considering the roster that's been presented and the expectations that were here. But I gotta give Mike McDaniel credit for helping turn Tua around going into year 3. I can, and I'll give you also the backup quarterback situation for sure. Skylar Thompson trusting him and developing him, and then we saw Tyler Huntley the same way. I'll give you all of that. But he did develop Tua.
David,
I can't side with you on that.
David, what he did with Skylar Thompson is unforgivable. Do you understand that?
Oh,
that's a fireable offense. If you're that fucking stupid that you're around this guy for 3 years, you're coaching him for 3 years, and the guy can't even hand off the ball. Bro, that's pathetic. Mike McDaniel is a pathetic coach. They step all over him. He's weak. He's got a soft team. There's that guy. He has offensive mind. He can draw some plays up. I'll give you that. He has no chef in him. He has no leader in him. He's not a CEO. He's not a leader of men, and he's not a quarterback guru, dude. He's just not. Nothing has proven that he's a quarterback guru. So when you sign Brett Gabbert, and I saw what you did with Skylar Thompson, I can't trust you at all. His opinion on quarterbacks means nothing to me at all. He's a joke.
Yeah, but listen, I hear you on the leader of men aspect, those things, the backup quarterback handling, but he did have confidence in Tua when it was a popular idea not to. When a lot of people were saying, okay, that it's going to be, he's not going to make it to the second contract. This is going to be the final straw after this year, where once you see different coaching staff, it doesn't work for Tua, and giving him receivers and some help on the line, but he did turn it around for Tua in that 2022 season, his third year, and it went beyond just, hey, buddy, I believe in you. I got my hand. I'm patting you on the back. that was part of it, that he instilled confidence in him, which was a way to get him to uplift his game. But it was not only, you mentioned the offensive system that was here before. Well, Mike McDaniel set up this current offensive system that allowed Tua to take another step and set up a system where he has some continuity on the staff, where he gets it right with the offensive hires the first time, so that now Tua has a consistency of, all right, here's my head coach and play caller, here's my offensive coordinator, here's my quarterback's coach. All of these positions have not changed since 2022 when Mike McDaniel first took over, and that continuity does go a long way.
I got to say, True FinFan actually made a really good point. Makes a lot of good points when he's on the show here with us. But he goes, coaching him for 3 years, it almost seemed like Skyler was worse year 3 than day 1.
Yeah.
I say that I think he's right about that. I think Skyler in year 1 looked better than he did in year 3.
True. I mean, year 1, he started a playoff game.
Yeah.
No, he was out there going toe-to-toe with the Bills in Buffalo.
I remember even in training camp, him making some decent. I remember he made this sideline throw that was a really nice throw over the DB. And I think True FinFan might be right that he was a better quarterback when he got here than when he left. And by the way, we'll see what happens with the rest of his future, because that will be an ultimate indictment if somehow or another he's able to turn his career around somewhere else. I mean, look, dude, there's something to be said that the players that leave from here, it's the stank is left on McDaniel, not on anybody else. Nobody's saying anything bad about Ross. Nobody's saying anything bad about Greer. Nobody's saying anything bad about Weaver or any of the other assistant coaches. The one guy that people are saying, it's not the guy, it's McDaniel. It's the one guy. It's the one constant complaint from anybody that you can get a complaint from.
Yeah, and I can hear these were the questions as far as the leader of men aspect of being a head coach in the NFL. Those were the questions from the start, and still remain questions. And I understand how he has underachieved with a roster that was ready to win. I mean, Brian Flores was accomplishing damn near the same records in the regular season, had a 10-6 2020 season, 9-8 2021 season with far, far less talent on the roster. And then 2022, it was 9-8, but made the playoffs, backing in as the last playoff team. And then the 2023 season had that epic collapse when you should have won the division, and then he ended up as the number 6 seed. I mean, 11-6 that year. It's not far off from the records that Brian Flores had, which with far less talent.
Yes.
So that I give you 100%. But I will always back what he did.
That's why I don't agree with, like, overall, I think Chris Greer has done a really good job with the personnel part, but the coaching has burned him completely because he's hired the wrong coaches, unfortunately. And of course, there's a couple of moves lately that have really backfired on them. Obviously, bringing back X was wrong. Giving Tyreek extra money, they're just things like extending Mike McDaniel have made no sense whatsoever. So there's a couple of moves, but Greer gave McDaniel more than enough talent to have more success than he's had, and that's my problem with it, overall. And that's why I don't feel you have the right coach, and this is just a matter of time before you just fire this guy and move on, because everybody else tells you what's wrong with him. All you got to do is pull people aside that in the building, and you'll hear the funny stories. Okay? So, or the scary ones. So, I don't know. It's just I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel with that guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is hard to see it right now. And then now we're hearing this offseason, and this is all like what they put out there, and of how they're trying to change the culture. And now, will they actually? Will it be too late if they are changing the culture a little bit? Having guys really commit on time
in an offseason. You cannot change a culture in the offseason.
That's the challenge in front of them. So cards are stacked against.
It takes a while. It takes a while to do it. the Panthers did not go from soft to, the toughest team in the NHL in a half a season. No, it took them a while. It took them a couple seasons to start bringing in those kind of players and get that turnover. And you've got to have the right coach, which obviously they don't. So, that's not only the players, you also need the coach. And that's the problem there for me, at least.
It will be a challenge. I won't count them out entirely from being able to do it, but it will be a challenge, and I would put the odds at less likely than yes that it does transform over this offseason.
Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646 for lawyers you can trust, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, personal injury. The consultation is completely free. Give them a ring anywhere in Florida. They can take care of you, and they've got their own adjusters. So if you have any damage, they will send their adjusters. Never call the insurance company. Call Welton Rayom. Hurricane season's coming up. You want to save this number on your cell phone. 954-966-4646. What do you got going on Memorial Day weekend, sir?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to a bunch of the assistant coaches all this past week, so still have some things to post, the leftover items from that, like Bobby Slowick, getting to know him and how he has joined his brother Ryan Slowick in the Dolphin staff. I'll touch on the new special teams coordinator Craig Ackerman and what he's trying to do with that unit, and already had posted some files on Robert Prince, the new wide receivers coach, talking about Tyreek Hill and how he's interacted with him this offseason. The interesting comment that Butch Berry made, offensive line coach, on Liam Eichenberg being a glue guy for the O-line and why he was brought back, which was obviously a hotly contested transaction this offseason. So a bunch of stuff already there, and that I will continue to roll out over the weekend.
We had a guy here. His name was Garner. I'm trying to remember the first name. If anybody can help me out. This was a while back. He wasn't a great offensive lineman either, but he could play multiple positions. So they would keep him around. They kept him around for a couple of years because he would fill in here or there. Now, he did a little bit better job than Eichenberg has done. That I will admit.
Is this Nate Garner?
Yeah, Nate Gardner.
Yes. Garner.
Right. I don't think there's a D in it. It's not Gardner.
Yeah, Gardner. Yeah.
Yeah, not
like Daryl Gardner. Nate Garner.
I think if I remember correctly, it was Nate Garner. And
yes,
so Luis Benito says number 75. There you go. Thank you, Luis. And he wasn't a great lineman either. Now, he was slightly better than Eichenberg because he stayed on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Eichenberg, I think Eichenberg was a break dancer back in the day because he loves to be on the floor and, he does the spin and then he does a little pose.
He's a break dancer, I suppose.
I know Eichenberg deep down inside is he's probably in the locker room. Ain't no stopping us, and he's probably a really big fan of the of those breaking movies back in the day, Breaking 1, Breaking 2, Boogaloo, Electric Boogaloo, and all that. He must love that. Anyway, Nate wasn't a great lineman, but he played multiple positions. And every team has got to have those kind of guys. The only problem is because of your cap issues, sometimes you can afford a guy that's like a little better than this. You know what I'm saying? And Eichenberg just never really crossed that threshold, unfortunately. So it's become a point where he's multiple, he's still not reliable. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, for all the flack that Liam Eichenberg gets, I am just fine with him being a reserve, versatile offensive lineman that can fill in at multiple spots. That if someone goes down, you have to rely on him then. I don't like last year how the plan was that he had to go out there and be your starter. So that clearly didn't work. But I am just fine with him being a guy that's in the room. I think he has like some skills with the other linemen as far as just like leadership qualities to him. He could get under an opposing player's skin when he's just like talking shit to him in a game. Like, but obviously he has to stay on his feet. And I do like the situation where it's James Daniels and Jonas Avayanaya starting, and then he is a reserve guard who has some versatility. He has played center in the past, so he could be Aaron Brewer's backup center. And it's been a while since he played tackle, but if worse came to worse and like you lost multiple guys that are your swing tackles, then like you have another guy who could do that too. I am just fine with him being a reserve guy that's still here.
And by the way, I want to remind you all, you end up with Liam Eichenberg as your backups. Okay? I hate to do this, but I got to do this to you. Watch the Panthers. You're going to see players come here this past season. They take less. They adjust their salaries. A role player will come here like an AJ Greer, will help you out. The Dolphins' failures the last couple of years with Mike McDaniel did not create a winning environment. So people left. So the Calais Campbells of the world don't want to stay here. You want a great backup like Kendall Lamb? He says, F you, I'm going to Philadelphia, right? I think is where Kendall Lamb went.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you want, they used to have better backups here. But as you continue to fail as a team with your leader, so-called leader, people will not sacrifice to be here or come here because there's no success going on with the Dolphins. With the Panthers, you have watched 6 straight years of the playoffs. You've watched them now go to the Stanley Cup 2 years out of the last 3. And at the same time, they have grown. And once again, they're dominating in the playoffs and going deep. So at the end of the year in the offseason, yeah, they may have to re-sign a guy, but then they're going to have another veteran that's going to say, you know, I'll join you guys for a little less money because I like the way you guys play and I got a shot at really winning. And that entire environment has never been built with the Miami Dolphins under Mike McDaniel. It would help. It helps any team that if you're a great football team, their players will adjust a little bit to come to you. You don't have that. So your backups are going to be the Eichenbergs, not the Nate Gardners or even the Kendall Lambs. Your starters, well, you're going to lose people like a Calais Campbell. You're going to lose a lot of leadership like you have because they don't believe in the leadership. Sadly, this is what happens when you go year after year and you continue to fail like Mike McDaniel has. This is what happens.
Yeah. Well, I would say there was a time when there was that sort of players willing to take less money to be in this situation. I feel like there was like positive momentum at the beginning of the McDaniel tenure, and then last year went the way it did, and obviously guys aren't going to prime veterans aren't going to follow up on that going into this year. So that's why, yes, you are in the position you're in now going into 2025.
And that's where Greer and company have failed. Their coaching, unfortunately, their coaching hires have just not panned out. Flo and now, Mike McDaniel. And that's really set the team back. And it's a shame because you had a great window that is now closed shut, unfortunately. All right, my brother, appreciate you immensely. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. We will catch up on Tuesday. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too.
You got it. There you go. Welt and Rayom, 954-966-4646. Manny Navarro is next.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Have you viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right. Manny, before we start here, I got to take a shot at Justin here on the chat board. He goes, Aaron Rodgers has said he'd play for $10 million a year. Guys will cut deals. Justin, who's lining up for Aaron Rodgers? It's like, and that's it. Nobody wants the guy. Okay? He better play for $10 million because they're not going to pay him 30 or 40 anywhere. Terrible example, my brother. It's not what I was talking about, but appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Anyway, Manny, how you doing, my brother? How you feeling? You feeling good?
Feeling good, oh. Just got back from New York City. I was up there for some meetings with the people at The Athletic and just doing well. Yourself?
Excellent, man. Can't complain. Just I can't wait for this season because I'm intrigued, because it's interesting. Well, we just talk about the Dolphins now.
Right.
Okay. And this, I hope, does not happen here, but this could be the case. Okay, here we go. Mike McDaniel takes over, offensive mind. People get excited. You start signing guys. Everybody gets excited. That first year, the offense blows up. Whoa, wow. So hype creates, people start to buy into it because it's only the first year. And then you start to see what the real substance is, and there isn't a lot of substance in year 2 and then in year 3. And now going into this other year, now people aren't buying into it. They want out. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't believe in the guy. I mean, the stories that I'm being told is hilarious in that building. But anyway, so when Mario, okay, you started off rough because of everything that you inherited and everything. Now you're building the momentum up. Now you got the Cam Ward pickup, and now you got the other quarterback, and you got some big guys. You just got the big offensive tackle. You're making an impact. Manny Cristobal, Mario Cristobal Manny, has to make a huge impact in the next year or two with all this talent. If he continues to fail and not get to the ACC championship game and not be in the playoffs and not make a run in the playoffs, any of those kind of things, and you're spending all that NIL and you're getting all those commitments, all of a sudden that shit is going to dry out. No matter how much money you have, you'll end up overpaying for NIL guys. They probably aren't really even worth that. The really good ones will still end up going to the schools that they're going to get paid just like here, except they're going to win. So it's very important that Mario does not flounder and flop like he did last year, because he is now getting the elite talent. He better get the elite results.
Yeah, and I think that goes for every coach in his position. You look around the country, Lincoln Riley at USC, right, had the results the first 2 years. They're going backwards now that Caleb Williams is gone. You look over at Oklahoma.
And no success with Caleb Williams.
Right.
No success.
Didn't win anything big. You look at Oklahoma, same situation with Brett Venables, came in around the same time as Mario, same class. Brian Kelly at LSU, just not getting to the point where you're getting over the top. And so what happens is those messages to the players become hollow unless you win, unless you have something to prove and proof of concept. And so the good thing for Mario is that it's been a progression upwards to this point, right? I mean, 5-7. 7 wins, then 10 wins. And so now the natural order of business is you got to win the conference, or you got to at least get to the conference championship game and make a playoff.
Good teams. You got to start beating good teams on your schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to start getting the real bowl games and winning them. You got to win the ACC championship. You better at least be in the finals this year. If you're not even in the finals, you're a failure. and you better be in the playoffs. And if you don't do any of these things, you're a failure as a coach. So for now, if you break down how if you assess the recruiting and everything, how would you look at it?
Well, obviously, when he was hired, we all thought he's going to be this tremendous recruiter. They're going to start developing guys. And look, they've signed elite classes. But the one thing I will tell you, even to this day, going into year 4, he's still doing a big part of this with the transfer portal. Not that other guys aren't either. But you look at the Oregons of the world, you look at the Georgias of the world, they don't have to rely on the transfer portal as much as Miami has to this point. And I think you again, I just looked this up the other day. The 2023 recruiting class, the one that brought in Francis Mauinoa and Ruben Bain, that was an elite recruiting class. Only half of those kids are still at Miami. 13 out of the 26 that they signed out of high school. And so when you talk about high school recruiting, and that's Mario's specialty, to me, to this point, if that was your best class that you brought in and only half of those guys are still around, it shows you that he hasn't really gotten the grasp of what he wants yet in recruiting and getting the kind of guys here that stick. You need to have a better than 50% percentage, because I know Georgia does, I know Oregon does, I know the elite programs that are competing for championships do, the Ohio States of the world do. So to me, that's what I want to see going forward with him is, do you see more player development from the high school ranks? Do you see more guys who step into roles and wrestle those jobs and really develop under him? Because that's ultimately going to determine whether he's successful here or not. We saw what happened with Florida State, right? And Mike Norvell, they did a great job through the transfer portal for 2 years. And then you saw that the recruiting wasn't living up to its end. And so they went from, being in the 13-0 and 13-1 to 2 wins. Not that would happen here, but I think ultimately, if Mario's going to get over the top, he needs more of his own recruits to take off and really develop.
BigCheeseMiami.com, proud sponsor of the program. And go see my friends down there at the Big Cheese, 305-662-6855. When you do, by the way, make sure you tell them you heard it here on the Big O Show, okay? They got the party platters and all that good stuff. So go visit my friends. Check out the menu, BigCheeseMiami.com, and those garlic rolls are to die for. Speaking of big cheeses, what's the big cheeses they're working on for the 2026 class?
Yeah, the official visit schedule really launches next week. That's going to be the first big weekend of having players down here. As you know, you mentioned Jackson Cantwell, the Rosenhaus client that I told you they had a really good shot at getting for that reason, and he's the anchor of that class right now. They've got 4 offensive linemen, so Mario has addressed that position. They're going to be losing probably 3 or 4 offensive linemen, starting guys off this roster going into next year. So you needed to have a really good class to come in and step in behind the other young guys that you recruited the last couple of years. So they've done that to this point. Getting Cantwell was a big part of that. They're not done. They're still looking for more offensive linemen. But 10 commitments. They got their quarterback, Darion Coleman, who people have likened to Cam Ward. They've got a really good running back in Javian Mallory. They're looking to add more guys there at that position. Receiver, haven't really gotten anybody yet. Tight end, nobody yet. Defensive line, edge rusher, those are positions they're still working on, but that's what the next few weeks are all about for them.
All right. When we look at the recruiting names that are going to be visiting, what are the big names coming up?
Yeah, the first one for me, the 2 biggest ones are Derek Cooper, who I've mentioned to you many times, out of Hollywood Chaminade. He's the guy who I think can be a star at safety or running back. And then 5-star defensive lineman Lamar Brown from University School in Louisiana. It's unlikely Miami's going to end up winning, beat out Texas A&M and LSU or another SEC team for the top defensive tackle in the country. It just doesn't happen very often. But again, that's what we were saying about Jackson Cantwell, right? So the fact that you're getting him on campus, the fact that he's going to come here, and I'm sure Miami is going to throw a hefty offer at him, is a good thing. To me, if they don't get him, they still have other guys on the board they can land, including James Johnson, who's a Fort Myers area kid, transferred over to Miami Northwestern this year. So he's here in their backyard. They're going to work on him a ton. They already have a commitment from Northwestern and Jordan Campbell, who plays on the same defense with the kids. So if they don't get the big stud, they can still get a great defensive lineman in James Johnson. But Cooper is the big one, for me, for this whole class, because he is the rare 5-star that you have a chance to keep home. right? Miami has lost those guys in the past to Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State. We talked about Brandon Innes, right? A couple years ago, I'm driving through California. We have Brandon Innes in the car, the wide receiver who ends up going to Ohio State. And, he talked about how much he loved Miami. Jeremiah Smith, same thing. He talked about how much he loved Miami, but the best of the best end up leaving town. So Cooper is one of those elite guys. And look, there's 7 other schools that are chasing after him. Gabby Urrutia from 247 Sports predicted in March Miami's going to end up getting Cooper. But look, he's going to Alabama, he's going to Georgia, he's going to Florida State, Penn State, Ohio State. Texas is after him. There's so many really good schools that, to me,
Got to win.
Yeah, got to win it out. And I think it comes down to winning on the field for those guys. They want to see how the season plays out. And if Miami's in the playoffs and winning ACC championships, then they have a chance to get that guy. So that's the first big weekend. Those are the two main highlights. You also have a couple commitments coming in. One of them is Clinton Portis' son, who's a 4-star cornerback from Charlotte. The other one's John Tavius Wyman, who's a cornerback, 4-star cornerback from Jonesboro, Georgia. Anytime you get those commitments on campus and those guys are still taking trips elsewhere, it's just important to really come out of those visits with those kids feeling good about their commitment.
Kid is smart. He went to corner instead of running back.
Yeah.
Very smart. Very smart. I like that. All right. What else you got going on in The Athletic so Canes fans can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, Bruce Feldman and I are actually doing a pretty fun story for next week. We spent a lot of time it's the 25-year anniversary of the Miami-Washington game. Not the beatdown that the Hurricanes gave them in the Orange Bowl, but the time Ken Dorsey and those guys went on the road, lost that game, essentially cost themselves the national championship or a chance at the national championship because of that loss. So Bruce and I have caught up with Rick Neuheisel, Butch Davis, a bunch of the players that were involved in that game to just talk about it because it was a great game. Washington won 34-29, but just to get some perspective all these years later, things that we might have missed, things that we might not have known about those games. And it's going to be a fun little read next week.
I got to have Neuheisel on my shows a few times when I was in Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
And I like him, bro. He's a cool dude. He's a great guy to talk football with, man. I like Rick Neuheisel, bro. He is a cool cat, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah, there's some great stories that we've gathered from that game, things people didn't know, and just entertaining read, I think.
Yeah, good dude, man. I like him a lot. All right, follow him on Twitter, Manny_Navarro. And, of course, subscribe to The Athletic so you can get all the skinny and, of course, a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports. The Athletic is all over it. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. We will catch up next week.
You too, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. BigCheeseMiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue for some delicious pasta. It's all shipped from Italy and cooked fresh daily. BigCheeseMiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
JP Morgan Chase predicts Ukraine peace deal by the end of June. Okay, I'll take, it's not like the orangutan says he was going to end it. JP Morgan says it's ending by the end of June. Okay, maybe they should vote in JP Morgan as president. I don't know. I'll take that. Let's go with our 3A Graphics sports calendar. And we can only start in one place, of course, with our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the amazing Alan Blanco. If you need custom printing and embroidery, please call him, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. Panthers dominate the Canes 5-0. They take a 2-0 lead. Game 3 will be here at the Amerant Bank Arena on Saturday night. It'll be at 8 o'clock. And the Canes are plus 124 on the money line. The Panthers are minus 148. The over and under is 5.5. Kachuk had a goal and assist yesterday. Verhaeghe had 3 assists. Sam Reinhart did get injured. We don't know how bad it is, but hopefully it's not too bad. And they are deep, so they can overcome it. Bob, 17 saves on the night. Looking forward to game 3. Tonight, it's the Oilers and the Stars, 8 o'clock on the western side. Dallas is leading 1-0 if you want to view that game, because if the Panthers advance, which we hope so, they will be facing the winner of the Oilers and the Stars. OKC, boy, I was wrong on that one. I said, man, I didn't bet it, but I kind of like the T-Wolves with the money line yesterday because it was like 235. But I was wrong, boy. OKC was impressive yesterday, 118-103. They take a 2-0 lead. Ant-Man had 32, but not enough. SGA with 38, 8 assists, 3 steals, and 3 rebounds. What else? Tonight, Pacers and Knicks. Pacers leading 1-0 after that huge Knicks choke job. 8 o'clock tip. Knicks are favored by 6. The over and under is 223.5. Saturday, Inter Miami takes on the Philadelphia Union on the road. 7:30 for the old farts. We'll see if they can get back into the win column. Saturday at Pitbull Stadium at 6:40. It's the Birmingham Legion FC visiting Miami FC. And Saturday at 7:30, the final home game of the season for Fort Lauderdale United. They will host Dallas Trinity FC. One more game to wrap up the regular season. And last night, the Fever defeated the Dream 81-76. It was Ryan Howard leading the way with 24 points. The veteran was dominating. Caitlin Clark, 4 of 11, 0 of 5 from three-point range. So she only had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 turnovers. So she's got to get better there. But there's more to that story. Anyway, that is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. I was laughing yesterday. Media is the media today tries to structure everything for your feelings or because of their feelings. So I'm watching Channel 7 Sports yesterday, and it's Josh Moser, right? Good kid. And I'm sure he didn't write the story. It was probably producers or whatever. So they say the score of the Fever and the Dream, 81-76. And I'm sure that the last time they played Atlanta, they probably said, if they mentioned the score, Caitlin Clark had 27 points and 11 assists. Because she kicked ass in that game. She had 11 points. She had 27 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals against the Atlanta Dream. It was the second game of the season. Last night, she struggled. So last night, they mentioned on Channel 7, Fever beat the Dream 81-76. Caitlin Clark in double figures. Oh, man. You couldn't say that she only had 11 points? You know, it's just the problem is people don't watch sports, or because she's the darling, you don't want to say she had a bad game. You don't want to say that Howard played super physical with her. They even got into a bit of a shoving match where she was trying to intimidate Caitlin, and Caitlin looked at her and said, I'm not afraid of you, you know? And so she torched Atlanta the first game. So this game, they focused in on her. But the good thing is, you know, they brought in another Howard, not the Howard that was covering her, but the Howard on her team that was dominating yesterday. And they've got Sophie Cunningham, and they got Lexi Hall, and they've got damn it, what's the name of the big girl? Oh, Jesus Christ. Rose, I think is her name. And she's fantastic, right? So they've added a couple of pieces to the team. So it's especially Howard was a huge addition because they needed a veteran presence and somebody that brings a little more physicality. So they don't watch, so they don't know. So it's like, well, she was in double figures. Bro, just call it like you see it. She only scored 11 points, but they won. And that's because others had to pick it up because they were so focused on her yesterday, but they don't watch. Like most of you don't watch. But I watch the WNBA. I like the WNBA. I like the WNBA, and I'm starting to like it more than the NBA. Do you know why? They actually play basketball the way I like. Inside out, there's toughness, there's physicality, there's, it's edgy. It's not this all three-point bullshit and no defense. It's a lot different. And because of the skill set's gotten better, it's become even more entertaining. Now, you know what was entertaining yesterday? Was Angel Reese. I'm sorry, Angel Perkins. The Sky lost yesterday. What was the score? They lost to yesterday. 90. No, that was the other game. That was they got their asses kicked. Doesn't matter. Angel Reese in 27 minutes was 0 of 8 from the field. She had 12 rebounds, 3 steals, and 5 turnovers because she thinks she's a guard. Lisa Leslie worked with her in the offseason. Lisa Leslie should never be a coach again in her life. And by the way, I want to apologize to Charles Oakley. I've been saying that Angel Reese is Charles Oakley. That's wrong. She's Kendrick Perkins. Charles Oakley could actually shoot the mid-range. You didn't want to leave Charles Oakley open for a 12, a 14, a 16-footer. He was going to hit it almost every time. And he went to the line. He was going to be money. I'm sorry, Charles. I watched your career, dude. You were a hell of a player. Now, Kendrick Perkins is a guy that can only rebound and play defense. His offensive game was garbage. Just like Angel Reese. Garbage offensive game. And some of you idiots out there were trying to make a case for Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark. Like, it shows that really bias was carrying you, that you know actually nothing about basketball. Just hate is what you know. Anyway, but it's just fun to watch what's going on because I actually watch it. I get it. Most of you don't, and it's cool. But it's fun. I mean, and if you like NBA basketball the way it used to be played, take some time and watch the WNBA. You'll actually appreciate that that's how basketball should be played. Physical, inside, outside, have a post game, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that's disappeared from basketball. It's actually in the women's game. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. But just, and by the way, those of you that are watching, right, you're more than welcome to chime in. And if you listen later on or watch later on, you're more than welcome to chime in and send me a note and say, I was one of those idiots that actually thought Angel Reese is a better player than Caitlin Clark or even close to her or whatever, which she's not even a fraction of the player Caitlin Clark is. She's a grunt. She's a rebounder, a defender. She's a role player. Amazing. Yeah, Angel Reese is Kwame Brown, basically. It's just that in that game, if you're big and physical, you can be a presence on the board, and that's what she is. But she has no offensive game whatsoever. 0 of 8. That shit was funny. 0 of 8, bro. That is fantastic. All right, what else do we have to talk about in the world of sports? So, ESPN. They apparently were thinking of doing something that it ended up like backfiring on them. Why? They were thinking of doing a Shannon Sharp show. I don't know how many of you know, but yesterday Around the Horn was finally retired. Way overdue, by the way. Way overdue. Like years overdue. But whatever. It made a lot of people, earn a salary, so it's good for them. I'm happy for people that make some money. So, this is how it goes. The recent allegations of Shannon Sharp may have thrown ESPN for an even bigger loop than initially believed. According to Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, this is why you should subscribe, ESPN at one point considered Sharp for a role in a debate show that would replace Around the Horn, which will air its final episode on Friday. Marchand said the project would have been involving Stephen A. was discussed before Smith signed his new massive contract. Marchand did not specify whether Smith would have been an on-air role in the show or whether the idea was nixed prior to Smith and ESPN reaching a new deal. Either way, the idea seems dead now after Sharp took what he says a temporary hiatus from ESPN. So I'm just thinking, the Shannon Sharp show, Around My Horn, I'm just thinking of a name. You don't really have to change much. Just the to my. That's it. Right? I'm just saying. Don't have to, adjust the logo a little bit instead of a speaker. It could be, that purple vegetable that they show around my horn. I don't know. Just kind of goes with it, right? I'm just saying. And Pat in Asheville, a debate show. I'm a master debater. I like that. The show with the master debater, Shannon Sharp, Around My Horn. There you go. It's a show for Barstool. I'm just saying it could work. And apparently Shannon Sharp produces the material. Audio, video, everything. Around My Horn. I don't know. It's just a thought. I'm sorry. These are things that go on in my head. What can I tell you? Let's go. Let's do some musicians celebrating birthdays today. Okay? Let's do that. Oh, here we go. All righty. Richard Jones, bassist with the Stereophonics, born in 1974. Maxwell. Wasn't it Cosa Nostra that brought up the Maxwell, and he insulted the other person by comparing him to Maxwell? I forgot who it was, but you did insult him because Maxwell only had one hit. Anyway, 72 on this date. Matt Flynn, not the quarterback that some of you Dolphins wanted to overpay. No, the drummer from Maroon 5, born in 1970. Junior Waite from Musical Youth. Pass the Dutchie to the right-hand side. By the way, it was about food, not about passing a joint. Philip James Selway, 3 named people, usually are killers. He's the drummer from Radiohead, born in 1967. Simon Gilbert, drummer from Suede, 1965. Daniel Klein from the Jay Giles Band, a bassist, born in 1946. Raymond Fullwood, Name Tiki Fullwood, the drummer for Parliament Funkadelic. Robert Moog, inventor of the synthesizer, born in 1934. At age 14, he invented the Mini Moog, the first compact, easy-to-use synthesizer, in 1970. He died in August 21 of 2005 in his North Carolina home at the age of 71. Cancer, like always, stinking cancer. Cancer gets all of us one way or another, bro. It's disgusting. Just is. All right, let's go with other people celebrating birthdays today on the 23rd. Scatman Crothers, born in 1910. If I don't say the age, that means they passed away. Musician Helen O'Connell, 1920. Musician Rosemary Clooney, 1928. Actress Joan Collins, born in 33. She is 92. Got more mileage on her than an odometer that's gone around 4 times. Tennis Hall of Famer John Newcomb. Remember the tennis shirts? The John Newcomb shirt? Born in 58. He is 67. No, I'm sorry. He's 81. Sorry. Mitch Albom, the writer, born in 58. He is 67. Drew Carey. Cleveland sucks. Cleveland sucks. Drew Carey, born in 58. He is 67. Melissa McBride, born in 65. She's 60. Jewel, the musician, born in 74. She's 51. TV personality Ken Jennings, born in 74. He's 51. Comedian actor Tim Robinson, funny dude, born in 81. He's 44. And that is famous people born on this date. Sean Stanley, do you have any wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. Yusuf Turk was born on this date in 1931.
What'd you say, Newbomb Turk?
Yusuf.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Kiana James turns 28. The before mentioned WWE Hall of Famer Drew Carey turned 67. Donna Cristinella.
Gross.
Huh?
I didn't know I stole that one from you.
Oh, yeah. All the celebrities, any celebrity that's pop culture or a time in pop culture ends up being a WWE Hall of Famer in the celebrity wing.
All right.
Yeah.
Cleveland sucks. Cleveland sucks. That show was awesome. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. Donna Cristinello, born on this date in 1942. Alex Shelley turns 42. And a man that is missed dearly, Bray Wyatt, was born on this date in 1987. Those are your birthdays for May 23rd, 2025.
By the way, all kidding aside, I actually enjoyed the Drew Carey show. The shots between him, I forgot the name of the heavyset woman with all the makeup. The way they went back and forth, it's like George Jefferson and the maid. What's her name? Forgot now. Damn it. But it was like that. It's Red Fox and Aunt whatever, the one with the grayish hair, that Aunt something that they used to go back and forth like that. Actually, I gotta say, Drew Carey and her had a great back and forth on that show. I forgot her name or whatever. Yeah.
Mimi.
That's it. Yeah, nothing mini about her. But yeah.
Mimi, M-I-M-I, sorry.
Oh, Mimi. Okay, there you go. Mimi. Yeah, I remember that. By the way, Kelly Hansen is leaving Foreigner. After 20 years of fronting Foreigner, he is now gone. As you know, Mick Jones was the only one, and he's not even really with the band anymore. He runs the band, but it's all replacements. Lou Gramm was gone years ago, and all the other originals have been gone years ago. And so now they're going to have a second replacement singer called Luis Maldonado, who's been the guitarist that what's it called, Mick Jones had on the band, and he's taking over. The only thing I don't understand about this is how do you people go to these concerts when they're completely replacement singers, and like the whole band is really a tribute band. It's not really, there's nobody left from the originals. And I can understand when there's originals left, you know, I can see that. But the singing is the part that I get to a point where I can't go see you anymore if you can't do what you used to do, you know? And I talk about it all the time, whether it's Lionel Richie or David Coverdale from Whitesnake the last few years, Eddie Money, rest in peace, his last few tours, he couldn't sing. David Lee Roth hasn't been able to sing for 15 years. Vince Neil, I wouldn't pay a penny to see Motley Crue anymore for years now, because dude, the last time I saw Motley Crue, it was embarrassing. It was like 15 years ago, and he couldn't sing, and I was like, there's no way I'm not going back anymore to see you and spend my money on Motley Crue. And so it's kind of weird how when these bands, now you're going into the third generation of the singer, and Kelly did a nice job with it. But, you know, and I would never go see Foreigner as a headliner. What I would always go see is Foreigner always with somebody else, and usually I was seeing the other band and Foreigner was opening up. Now, I did go see Foreigner with Lou Gramm in California. I flew out there a few years ago, and he did like 8 songs or something, and then Kelly did the rest. So it was cool. I had already seen Lou Gramm in the Foreigner 4 tour years before in the Orange Bowl, but I wanted to see Lou Gramm one more time, and Lou can't do what he used to do either. So that's where it gets to me. That's where I start to draw the line with certain people. When I know they can't perform anymore, yeah, dude, you're just like stealing money at this point. You know, that's kind of what's going on. Crazy. Brett says Robert Moog did some collaboration with Keith Emerson on his synthesizer in 1970. A little ELP, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. That's what Brett is talking about. Shout out to Israel Gutierrez, who got emotional yesterday when he won Around the Horn, lost his sister recently. That's terrible. Terrible. He's a good dude, by the way. He's a good dude. Good dude. I remember him back in the day when I was a beat, and I was on the Heat beat, because I used to cover the Dolphins and the Heat all the time, and he was always on the beat. And one thing I always remember about Izzy is he was always on the phone, constantly on the phone. That I remember about Izzy when I used to see him at Heat Camp all the time. I mean, he practically lived on the phone. Rarely was talking with people. He was usually on the phone when I used to catch him on the beat there. And I only used to catch him here, not on the road. So, you know, I don't know on the road how it was. But, yeah, man, good dude, really good dude. So hate to hear that he lost his sister. That she must have been a really young age, because he's not old. That's terrible. That's terrible. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was thinking cancer, because that's what bites so many of us, man. Hurts so many of us. Steve Perry, by the way, is going to sing a Journey song or two, but don't ever think he's getting back with Journey. He has shown a newfound willingness to revisit Journey classic songs, issuing a surprise duet recording of Faithfully with Willie Nelson. But that doesn't mean he's considering a reunion with the band he fronted on and off from 78 to 98. I mean, we're all good. We were great together. He tells the LA Times, I think the material and our accomplishments stand the test of time, which proves that we were good together. I'm really proud of what we accomplished together, because we're kind of like soldiers in the trenches trying to do something together. We knew we could do what we believed in. And I think people have to stop with that, because he doesn't ever want to be a rock star again. The touring stuff took a toll on him. And quite frankly, it's been so long now. Remember what I just talked about? Are you sure he can still do it? Do you know what it takes to sing Journey songs for an hour and a half, 2 hours? The notes you've got to hold? I mean, I'm not sure he can still do it. That's the other thing. Besides him not wanting to and his heart is not in it, so you're not really going to get a great performance, you don't even know if he can do it. And that's the reason why I try to avoid the people that can't do it anymore. I want to remember you how you can do it. You know, David Lee Roth never had a voice. He had a sound. He lost that shit years ago. And now he just doesn't have that sound anymore. And when you go see him, at least for a person like me, you cringe because it's like, oh, this is bad. Like Vince Neil could sing. He had a great falsetto and everything. Can't do any of that anymore. Out of shape, trashed his body, he's too fat, whatever. You know, Mike Reno still has the voice, but he struggles because of the weight for Loverboy. He weighs 300 pounds. So it gets in the way of his singing. Tires out quickly, doesn't have the power anymore because he's completely out of condition. Yeah. So I would say people keep asking for that, and it's just not ever going to happen again. And I don't know if you really want it to happen anymore. I get it. If you never saw Journey, it's a void, and you love him or whatever, and you grew up and you go, wow, man, I wish I could see Steve Perry because I was too young or I wasn't around or whatever. It's just not going to happen. And it's not going to be worth it. That's all I'm telling you. So just to throw that out there. Howdy-o, I've seen Journey a few times with the great singer that replaced Steve. Yes, you're talking about Arnel Pineda. And I've seen him a couple of times, and he's excellent. He's not Steve Perry, but he's damn close. Does a great job. Neil Sean is the guy that in the end was the guy you couldn't replace. At least with Arnel, you know, you don't replace Steve Perry, but damn, it sounds great. That's the greatest replacement singer of all time, Arnel Pineda. The greatest. The greatest. Now, the funniest thing is they're at a point now where they all fly in different planes. They don't even get along. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy how that band has been so torn up. Period. People trying to steal the name from each other, and man, some dirty shit has gone on there in Journey. Let's see. What else do you have here? Think Blue Dodgers checking in from LA, smashing it. Thank you, sir. Please smash it. You fish-eyed fool. How dare you forget the name Aunt Esther? That's it. And remember her famous line of Fred, watch it, sucker. It was great. Yeah, man, in order to sing those Journey songs, you need a special set of pipes. God bless that Pineda kid they've got now, but I hope it goes well for the great Steve Perry. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's happy, dude. And, you know, that's all that matters. If he doesn't want to do this, it takes a lot. It's got to be hard performing night in and night out the same songs, and then traveling from city to city, and it's got to, you know, it's got to roll into just being one long night. You know what I'm saying? And then when you do a year after tour, after tour, after tour, it's got to get to a point. And if you have the money, you know, you're watching football players now. They make so much money. Very few of them are going to play to their old age because they're going to have so much money in the bank. They can retire a lot faster. So Cal Ripken's record is safe forever, and Brett Favre's and whatever. Any of those records, they're going to be safe because nobody's going to put their bodies through this anymore because they're making so much money. So musicians the same way. if you made enough money, which Steve Perry at that point, you made more than enough. And he actually went on to have a solo career and have success with that too. So he made a little extra money there too. You know? So yeah, it just kind of, yeah. What else? What else do we have here? Yeah, definitely long overdue about Around the Horn. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched that show in years. You know, when Marcel was on the show, I watched it a few times for him. But yeah, I got tired of that show a long time ago. Long time ago. And I used to like the characters early on had more of an edge because TV had more of a bite then. Now it's too politically correct. Caitlin Clark in double figures. When I saw that yesterday from Channel 7, I was like, bro, that's some weak-ass sauce, bro. Some weak-ass sauce. Why? Because she scored 11 points? It's all good, bro. Mention it. Caitlin Clark had 11 points. She did have, you can play 11 points, 6 assists, and you can at least mention that, but whatever, and 5 rebounds. So 6 rebounds, 5 assists, I'm sorry. You can mention that. 11.6 rebounds, 5 assists. But you're so sensitive about insulting somebody or your feelings or whatever. Our media is it's wussified. It's wussified. And that's because the editors have become wussified and the owners have become wussified, and this is where we're headed. And then if you work for certain stations that their interests are somewhere on one side or another, or their money is, and then you've got to then have the opinion that fits their narrative, not even yours. Can't even have your own opinion. Yeah. It's crazy, dude. It has changed. That's why I tell you. And Caitlin Clark in double figures. Oh, man. Panthers, by the way, their last 4 road games, they have outscored their opponents 22-4. 22-4, dude. So tomorrow night, 8:00 is game 3. And it's not that it's the most important game, but it's a great game to just kind of end this thing. And you like tonight, you all got to pull for the Oilers to even up the series. And we got to hope that tomorrow the Panthers take care of business. And if they take a 3-0 lead, Monday's in the bank. Monday's in the bank. Okay? And worst case scenario, you go 5. But what we want is really let's get this series done quickly and rest a little bit for the Stanley Cup Finals. That would be awesome. And the team I saw yesterday in the Hurricanes, they were as dejected as it gets. Okay? The Buffalo Bills are going to be on Hard Knocks. And apparently, they don't want to be there. Which I don't blame them. And hopefully there's some kind of curse or something for them this year, because I know they're going to end up dominating the Dolphins division again. But it would be nice if they have some bad luck. But according to Tim Graham of The Athletic, again, he left little doubt that individuals within the organization are less than thrilled of having to tolerate Hard Knocks. He goes, the Buffalo Bills do not want to be on Hard Knocks. And he's pretty connected with the team. They are not proud to be chosen for Hard Knocks. They did not seek to be featured on Hard Knocks. They loathe the idea of Hard Knocks. Nobody from One Bills Drive told me this Wednesday because they didn't have to. I've covered the entirety of this administration and had my myriad of conversations with Coach Sean McDermott, General Manager Brandon Beane, and HBO show since they arrived 8 years ago. It's hardly a secret that coaches, players, and executives don't want Hard Knocks crews filming practices, meetings, and behind-the-scenes discussions that outsiders otherwise wouldn't know had occurred. In the summer of 23, the New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh unsuccessfully campaigned for his club to avoid Hard Knocks. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers later said that the NFL forced the Jets to be on the program down our throats. Gang Green reportedly denied HBO and NFL Films certain access during production of the show. Most recently, the Hard Knocks offseason, the Giants program turned Giants co-owner John Mara into a punchline after the camera crews filmed him admitting that he'd have a tough time sleeping if star running back Saquon Barkley signed with the Eagles as a free agent. Barkley did just that in March of 2024 and helped them win the Super Bowl. So, any suffering the Buffalo Bills can go through, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here to tell you, I'm all in. I'm all in, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I hope it makes their lives miserable. I hope it creates controversy. I hope it's a stroke of bad luck. Do we know, like the Madden thing or something? Is there a curse for Hard Knocks? I don't even know. Is there a curse for Hard Knocks? If not, start it this year. That's all I'm saying. And they'll broach that subject on Shannon Sharp's show, Around My Horn. All right, we want to thank David Furones and Manny Navarro. We want to thank, of course, the amazing, the fantastic, the dominating, the Sean Allen. You know him as Sean Stanley. Squirrel Circle Digest coming your way. Was it Tuesday night? Is it Tuesday? Tuesday. So there you go. Make sure you subscribe. Stanley House Media. All right. YouTube page is out there, you bastards. Don't be lazy.
Stanley Media House Network.
Stanley Media House. I'm sorry. Stanley Media House. Okay. It's a dyslexic name. Anyway, make sure you search for Stanley Media House and subscribe. It's the least you guys can do. Support Sean and Frankie. I don't know why, but we have to support Frankie too. You know? Yes.
I also do a NASCAR show with No Doubts.
There you go. So, even a NASCAR show. So, if you want to zoom by, check it out. Okay? We'll see you guys on Monday. Enjoy Panther hockey. I don't know. I was thinking, should I do shows after the Eastern Conference Finals? And I kind of held out. We'll wait for the Stanley Cup, right? Yeah, we'll wait for the Stanley Cup. We will do shows for the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay? We got to. I mean, you know. So, appreciate you all out there. Be safe. Have a great weekend. I love you all out there. Don't listen to the FUD from red or blue. Stay on your own trajectory. We'll see you Monday. Be safe out there. Much love.
This is the Big O Show.